Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Influential Women Podcast. I have Miss Cherl Sherwood here today at Wake Up. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I'm so excited you're finally here. You know, Cherl and I go way back, but we'll chat about that in a little bit. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a counselor at County High School right now. I coach volleyball there. My whole life has been in education. I started as a PE teacher where I met you, funny enough. And then I was a dean of students. And now I am finishing up my career as a high school counselor.
Do you love being a counselor?
I love being a counselor. It's all about the kids.
What's your favorite thing that you get to do?
Honestly, if you walk by my office any time of the day, you don't know how I get any work done because there's always a ton of kids in there. My principal walked by the other day and said, "Oh my God, do you not even give her a break first thing in the morning?" And I said, "You know, this is why I went into education. Isn't it why you went in? Like, if I couldn't work with the kids, I wouldn't be there."
I love it. And you have 3 beautiful children.
I do. I have 3 of my own.
3 of your own. And I used to babysit them, which she was a little crazy about because she goes, "Nobody babysits my children," but I don't know what kind of event she had. And you seriously had this whole list of the things. I'm like, I'm going to screw this up. She's going to hate me forever for this, but it was fine.
Yes, it was fine. That's my personality. That's your personality. That's why I let you babysit.
Yeah, well, yeah, it worked out fine.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I know you coached a lot of sports. What's your favorite sport to coach?
Well, I coach volleyball right now, and I love it, but my favorite sport to coach is basketball.
How come?
I just think the coach can have a lot more impact on the game. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you can do a lot of different things. Volleyball, you're kind of at the mercy of how your team is playing that day. There's not a lot of changes that go on through the game. Basketball, the coach has the option to put in a lot more that'll change the tempo of the game.
Well, can we tell the story of how I met you?
Sure.
So I'm in 7th grade. Can I tell it, or do you want to tell
go
it?
Ahead.
No, I want you to tell it. I actually want to hear your side.
Well, I was a PE teacher at Vineland Middle School, and this is how I remember it, handing out locks to my PE class, and I call in Jenny Albin, and she starts talking about family and her grandpa and her mom, and I'm like, "Jenny, I think we're related."
And at the time, she was the new PE teacher and very strict. No, the new PE teacher can't be related to me because she was very, and I think that's the way I am. I mean, you weren't mean, but right. You were very structured.
It's easier to get nicer than to get meaner.
Absolutely. And that was the first time I met you, and then found out we were cousins because, you and my mom are first cousins. And then, I don't know if you know this, but, well, you do know this. I became a PE teacher, and you inspired me. Wow. It's so crazy. I loved my 7th and 8th grade year with you. You coached me in volleyball and basketball.
Yep.
Did you do track?
No.
You didn't?
No.
And then when I became a PE teacher, you helped me learn how to coach because I was kind of yeah, you can have this job, but you have to coach every sport. It's sure. And I went straight to you, how do I, tell me everything because you coached at the high school level. I mean, every level you've coached at.
Right.
And you helped me, and that's something I'll never forget. So thank you for getting me on my feet my first year of teaching and coaching.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear.
And I remember Zach Norton and I used to always fight over who was your favorite. So who was your favorite?
You were my favorite girl. He was my favorite boy.
See what she just did there? So many good times.
Very good times.
How many years have you been teaching now? Or in the education industry?
This is my 30th year.
30th year.
Yes.
Wow. So then retirement is,
a couple years down the road.
A couple more years down the road.
I've still got my youngest to get through college, so.
Yeah. And then after that, and your youngest is with you now.
He is. He's
you have 3 kids, and your youngest is a senior. How you doing? Because it's almost May. How you doing, Mama?
It's just been such a whirlwind. I think it'll hit me after.
Yeah. You're not emotional yet or anything?
I'm not. I thought I would be, but these years of COVID just kind of hit, and it kind of put a downer on some things. So I'm ready for him to just go out and have a new chapter in his life.
That is awesome. And what was it like being in the same building and at the same school as your children? Because you were there with Brooke too.
I was. Good question. I don't know what it's like to be at County High School without having a child there, so I tell the senior group that all the time. It's going to be hard for me next year because I love those kids, so it's going to be hard for them leaving. My boys, it was perfect me being in the same building as them. My daughter has my personality, very strong. When I was coming to county her sophomore year, I told my husband, I'm not going to tell her I'm going there because I'm going to work in the office. She doesn't get in trouble. She just doesn't have to know. Because she was so mad that I was going to her school. But it worked.
It worked out for the better.
Yeah.
And you just recently started coaching again, what, a couple years?
This is my 4th year.
Your 4th year.
Yeah.
And are you loving it, being back in the gym and coaching? Because you're a phenomenal coach. And all of you, I mean, she has a twin sister, Carol. She's a twin. It's so easy for me to tell them apart. You'd be like, how do you tell them apart? I'm like, well, because I got to know you first. That's easier. When you know twins and you don't know them together, it's so much easier.
Plus, I'm the nicer one. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah. And you guys don't really, I mean, you look alike, but she was a coach. Your other sister's a coach at Adams State.
Correct.
So, I mean, you just are like...
It's in our blood.
It is in your blood.
It is.
That's crazy. And your parents didn't coach, so where did it come from?
I don't know. I just played sports all my life, and when I went into PE, I wouldn't take a job unless I had coaching with it, which is ironic because today you can't find a coach.
Which is so crazy.
I know.
Maybe it's because they're underpaid and not supported. What are your thoughts?
I have a very good administration. I feel very supported, but I would definitely say the reason is the parents. It's just hard. I mean, you can't. I play 7 to 8 girls on a varsity volleyball team, so I probably make 7 to 8 people happy out of 30.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But when you get to the high school level, it's not middle school. You're not playing for the championship. You're in high school level.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And those girls that are capable of playing at that level, I think they have a right.
Yeah, they've worked their butt off to get there.
Exactly.
I remember when I was coaching in middle school, because obviously you want to give everybody that opportunity.
Right.
Middle school is different than high school, but you'd make it to the ship every year, and it's like I'd let the girls vote. And I would say, do you want to play to win, or do you want to play to, play everybody? And they always voted, to win. So we did. And I'm sure I made people mad then, so I get it.
You know what? No matter what you do, you're going to make people mad. So you got to do what you believe in.
So one thing about Cheryl and I is we're Italian girls. Are you half Italian?
I'm half Italian.
Half Italian. Comes from your dad.
It does.
And your daddy, you lost him a year ago.
2 years ago.
Is it 2 years already?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How are you doing? How have you coped with, losing a parent? Because he was, let me tell you about her father, just the sweetest Italian man you ever saw. And he would always give you a kiss. Uncle Louie is going to give you a kiss on the lips.
Yep.
And he's just the sweetest man. Truly.
He was. I mean, I miss him dearly. The hardest part for me was watching him live the last year that he lived, because he wouldn't have wanted to live like that. So that was almost harder than coping with his death.
Gotcha.
Because I know he's better off where he is now.
Absolutely. Well, what is your why in life?
My why in life is obviously my kids. I think everybody who has kids would say that. But I don't think your why in life, I don't think you have to focus 100% on making your life around your kids, because I don't think that serves them their best purpose. Yeah. My why in life is that I know when they go out on their own that I've done what I've needed to do for them to be able to survive on their own. And I was really worried about Seth until this last month or two. He has taken on things on his own, and I'm like, you know what? He's going to be okay. And that's awesome. Brooke's on her own. Lane's getting his master's right now.
Wow.
So that's my why in life.
That is so awesome. And you've had, you've been an influential woman in my life, and that's why you're on, this podcast. But who's been an influential person in your life?
I have thought about that a lot, and the woman question, and I know most people would say go to their mom, and I could go to that. But the first person who came into my mind is my best friend. Her name's Jody Miller. She babysat my daughter when she was born. Jody's probably the one who knows every detail about me in my life. I just trust her 100%. Like, I think I'm closer to her than I am to my sisters.
Wow, your twin sister at that.
Exactly. We formed a bond, and I just trust her 100%, and that's invaluable to me.
So she's your influential person.
Definitely. She's my go-to.
She's your go-to. And why is it so important to have a go-to person in your life?
I just think everybody needs that. Somebody that they can trust, somebody they can tell anything to and know that they're still going to be there, because it's unconditional love.
And how did you meet Jody? I don't know who Jody is.
Oh, I was thinking you were in school with her kids, but you're older than them. When we built our house out on 40th Lane, her husband did our electricity, and they lived out on 40th Lane. So then we got to talking to him, and she had just was in between jobs, and she was going to stay home with her younger boys. So I just went and met her, and you know how you just get a feeling about people? Mm-hmm. And I totally trusted her with my daughter. Which is shocking. It's shocking.
I was just going to say, you had another babysitter, but when you went back to school from teaching.
Correct.
What year? You had Brooke already before I met you, right?
I had Brooke in 99.
Okay, so you were pregnant.
Yes.
At Vineland, because I remember you were on maternity leave and we didn't like the sub when you were gone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We missed you.
Thank you.
You know, what's something that she knows that nobody else knows? I want to know your deepest, darkest secret.
Oh, I can't tell you what I've told her.
Oh.
I mean, she just knows everything. She knows things I feel. She knows, I don't know, she knows everything. Can't tell you my deepest, darkest secret.
Okay. What's something that you're the most proud of? Or you're like, I made it. Like, this was my purpose and I've achieved it.
Obviously my kids, but I think when I think of my career, you know, coaching wise, my first year taking over county, you know, we were number 1 in the state all year. We had just an awesome team. We were ranked very high, had a D1 player on my team. That's not my greatest moment. My greatest moment is things like when she texted me the other day when I text the D1 player, asked her how she was doing, how her back felt, and she said, "Thank you for checking, you're the greatest." To me, those are the greatest moments. Not the winning record, the relationships you form.
Because life is all about relationships.
Definitely.
And what's been some of the best advice you've ever received?
I'm going to kind of spin your question.
Spin it. You do whatever you want. It's your day.
Okay. You know, I was on an interview committee the other day interviewing for our AP position, and the candidate asked us, like, what are you proud of at county? What are you proud of, like, with your career? And I think one thing I've always tried to do since I've had kids, I've always tried to treat the kids I deal with the way I would want my kids treated. Just very genuine, and I think I do a very good job of that.
Oh, I would agree.
Thank you.
It is. I like how you spin that around.
Thank you.
And, you know, we have a lot of successes in life, but what's been like a roadblock in yours? Maybe a setback that you overcame, because those setbacks are kind of what we learn from and who we are.
I agree. You know, when I was at Vineland Elementary, I had a principal that her and I did not click. So
I've been there.
Yeah, I'm sure. We all do, which is what I try to tell kids. You're always going to have people in your life you don't get along with. So her and I didn't click at all. She didn't want me in her building, which, you know, that's hard to take just as a human. So that's when they asked me to go to county. So, you know, just very intimidating. Felt like I wasn't going to county because I wanted to be there. You know, that was just tough to go. But I really feel like I overcame. I showed the principal at county I was there for the right reasons. You know, I feel like I've been successful there. So I felt like the reason the move was made was not beneficial, but I think what I did with it really was beneficial.
I love that. You took that negative and just turned it into your own positive. And sometimes we are just going to come across those people that we don't get along with, or they don't like the kind of human we are or whatever, but it's kind of like how you look at it and
right.
How you turn that into something else is beautiful.
Exactly.
You can make that, you know, some people don't make that decision to make better out of it and just,
right. Your mindset's everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have 4 sisters and 1 brother?
I do.
Who's your favorite?
Depends on the day. It definitely depends on the day.
So back then, like, y'all used to have huge families. Like, my mom comes from 6 girls. You came from 5 kids. There was 5 siblings on the Vazani side, so we're both Vazani girls.
Yep.
What was it like growing up in a big Italian family?
For me, I don't feel like I grew up in a huge family because the sister that's closest to me and Carol is 10 years older than us.
Oh, wow.
So okay. I really felt like I grew up with Carol. My siblings were out of the house.
Were you guys oopsies?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely oopsies.
We were all oopsies.
Oh, yeah, because you guys are the babies, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I loved having the older siblings. You know, I love the support. I love the family gatherings. You know, I became an aunt when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that was fun.
I didn't realize that. I guess I never. What's one of your favorite like family traditions that y'all do?
I just love Christmas. I just love Christmas morning when we all gather around the tree and open our gifts. We all take turns. We all watch each other open one. We make it last as long as we can.
I love it. Anything else you do for special for Christmas?
You know, we all do the baking. We all get together and bake before Christmas, and the shopping. We're big Black Friday shoppers.
Oh, you're one of those crazy people?
We're one of those crazy ones that were up at 3 a.m., yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Speaking of 3 a.m., I remember like you've always taken very good care of yourself, right? And what do you do for self-care? Because I remember you used to wake up super early and work out, right?
I did. I used to wake up at 4:40 religiously every morning, get on the treadmill. Now, of course, 3 kids later, there's not a lot of time. I'm exhausted. I still try to walk. Me and Jody, we walk a lot.
I need to meet this Jody girl.
You do?
Yeah.
She's a lot like us.
Yeah.
She's Italian. She's from Trinidad.
Huh.
Originally.
Okay. Hi, Jody. We're going to have tea soon.
She's a twin.
Oh, jeepers. So she knows.
Yeah, she does. Other than that, for self-care, you know, like...
But didn't you used to watch Days of Our Lives while you did it? Like, you were like, I can only watch my soap opera when I'm on the treadmill.
I did. Either that or a Bon Jovi concert I would put
on.
Oh,
yeah. You're a Bon Jovi girl.
I am.
Now that Bon Jovi's already come up. Oh, I thought you were more of a Celine girl. But let's see. If you had to pick a song that like described who you are or is like in your soul of music, what song would you pick?
You know, I know people always think I'm going to pick a Bon Jovi song, and I don't. And it was funny because we just had prom court assembly yesterday, and one kid walked out to my favorite song ever, and that's "Here I Go Again" by Whitesnake.
Oh,
I just love that song.
That's your jam.
That is my jam. I love that song.
It.
I do, and I think it just resonates because there are a lot of things I've started over with, which is kind of what that song talks about.
I love that. So, who do you like more? Is it Cher or Celine Dion?
Celine Dion.
Celine. I knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had to pick a favorite, Celine Dion, Joe Montana, or
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi. I was thinking AC/DC. I was like, that's wrong. I know we just said it. Which one would you pick as your favorite?
Oh, Bon Jovi by far.
You're kidding.
By far.
Just when I think I know you, I don't know you at all. I've never heard of this Bon Jovi.
Really?
No.
Are you friends with me on Facebook?
Yeah.
The first time my principal kind of met me, he has the same personality I do. We're sarcastic. He came in my office and he goes, "I'm embarrassed for you." Because I have Bon Jovi all over my office.
Really? What about them do you love so much?
Well, not them. Him.
Oh, him.
Just think he's a very attractive man.
Does your husband Pat think so too?
No, my family hates Bon Jovi.
Okay, you just like Bon Jovi.
I do, yeah. I like him.
That is hilarious.
Seth could sing you songs that he knows by word for word just because of being in a car with me.
That's what you torture them.
I did.
So I always thought you were like this big Celine Dion fan.
I liked her. I love Bon Jovi. And he's a good guy. You know, he has restaurants that he lets people come into, and if they can't pay, they don't pay. You just kind of pay it forward.
That is so interesting. How do you pay it forward?
Good question. I think kind of like going back to what I said before, like whatever I would do for my kids, I do for other people's kids. Mm-hmm. And you know, there are a lot of my friends' kids are always in my office, and I think some people think, oh, look what she lets him do, look what she lets her do. I honestly don't let my own kid do anything I wouldn't let somebody else's kid do. Mm-hmm. You know,
You're very fair.
I am very fair. I have food in my office. It's not actually Seth comes in probably less than some other kids do. Grab water, grab food, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how I pay it forward, is just treating everybody the same.
I love that. That's so important too.
Can I back up on that?
She's like, oh wait.
I don't think it's fair to treat everybody the same. I treat everybody fair, but I don't think the same is fair. Because I think people deserve to be treated based on their actions, based on what, does that make sense?
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
That's what I always tell my athletes. Mm-hmm. Playing time is earned. It's not fair playing time is not equal playing time.
Mm. What would your student athletes say about you, like that they take away from your program when coaching?
I think the majority of them would say kind of what you started at the beginning, strict, disciplined, but approachable. I think they know I care about them. One thing I always told my own kids, if they come home complaining about the coach was hard on them today, I said, that's not an issue. Come talk to me when they stop talking to you.
Right.
Because that's when, and I always tell my athletes that, if I ever stop harping on you, that's when you should worry. Because you know I've given up on you. You're not coachable anymore. If I'm on you, you know I see something in you, and I'm trying to make you better.
I love that. I love that. How many kids do you think you've coached throughout the years?
Oh my gosh. Hundreds.
Wow. And that your husband coached too, I remember. Pat coached the boys and you coached the girls, and then you did both, right?
At Vineland, yeah. Yeah, I did both. Yeah. With your class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the only time?
I think it was.
Because we probably had the best class ever. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
You would agree.
I agree.
You had a fantastic class. That was a good time.
You had a very good class. You had a very athletic class.
We did.
Boys and girls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were always at state. I mean, everything.
Yep.
We just rocked it. We had a good group.
We did.
High school was a fun time.
High school is fun.
It seems like a long time ago. And what high school did you go to?
I'm John Mall in Walsenburg.
She's a burger.
I am.
Which is so hard because in Pueblo, like, people always ask you, like, what high school did you go to? And you're like, John Mall. I heard they were going to change the name.
I did too. I don't know what they're changing it to.
What was the best thing about growing up in the burg?
I just like small. I like small communities. That's what I like about the county. Like, I mean, Pueblo's a little bit bigger, but the county feels like a small community, a small town. It can be a negative to know everybody and know everybody's business, but it can be a positive as well.
Absolutely. As long as you didn't mess anything up, you're going to be just fine. The ones that mess things up, there's the ones that shift themselves out, right?
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah. If you could have lunch with somebody dead or alive, who would it be?
Bar none, my dad.
And what would you talk about? What are some of the questions you would ask Uncle Louie?
First, I'd want to know how he's doing. I want to make sure he's okay, which I know he is. I just want to ask him how we should be handling things now, you know, with my mom getting older and still having the business. And I'd want to know his advice, how he thinks we should handle things.
That's hard, because how old was your dad when he passed? 87, and he was working straight up until the day. I mean, he would come visit my grandpa and my grandma, and I'm like, how are you still working? But he was just a go-getter, and he owned a very successful, I mean, what kind of business is that? Construction business. And yeah, and now your mom's still just as crazy working up until they don't know how to give it up.
No, and you know, they both said they didn't want to stop working. They loved it, and they knew if they stopped, that would slow them down physically too. So.
And I remember Uncle Louie he would go to like church every Saturday. Like, he was the most religious man I ever met.
You know, there was a while there when he was younger, he didn't go to church at all. And then as he got older, you're right, he wouldn't miss Mass. He loved Father V. Hill up here at St. Joe's. He would come every Saturday.
And he would drive from the burg just to go see him.
Yeah, he would.
I love that.
And then we'd go out to eat with him at Jidone's.
Okay, that was your tradition?
It was.
Well, I think he hit Grandma and Grandpa's before, because he was always there like around lunchtime.
Correct.
So sweet.
I know.
So sweet. And he'd always have a hat. I have a hat, because I'd be like, Uncle Louie, when do I get one of those?
Walsenburg Sand and Gravel hat.
Yep, and I have one.
I know, we all do.
You all do. Love it. And Jidone's, what would he get from Jidone's, or would he switch it up?
Nope, he would get the rigatoni every time.
Yeah, see, I felt like he'd be a very consistent.
Yeah, they knew him.
What else would you tell your dad, or what else would you ask him?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to say this on here, but you're going to think I'm crazy. I've talked to my dad since he's been gone. I don't know if some people don't believe in mediums. I do. I talk to one I think is very, very good.
Good.
So I feel like I have talked to my dad.
So you have those conversations very often.
I do.
And him being such a faithful man, did he instill that kind of faith into your family?
He did. And, you know, when I do talk, like you said, what would I ask him? I'd ask him a lot about my kids, because my kids were close to him, especially Brooke. Brooke was very close to him.
So, I remember. She would even come to my grandparents sometime, because she just wanted to drive with Uncle Louie. Like, she was attached at the hip bone.
Like he would always say, he's a stubborn wop.
A stubborn wop.
That's what he would call herself. And Brooke always was the same. So,
what's some of your favorite memories growing up with your dad?
Just, you know, he... Like you say, he wasn't an athletic person. Like, his dad his dad didn't let him play sports. It was just a different time then, but never missed an activity of mine and Carol's. He was always at everything. He, favorite memory is just knowing he was there. If you needed anything, he was there. You needed to move, he was driving a semi up for you. If you needed dinner, he was there buying it for you. Anything. Mm-hmm. Just very generous.
He was very generous all the time.
Yes.
He's a good man. What was his middle name?
Paul.
Louis Paul?
Louis Paul Visani. Yep.
Cutest Italian man ever.
He was. We miss him a lot.
I know. What's your favorite color?
Burgundy and gray.
Burgundy and gray.
Yeah, maroon and gray.
Huh.
Why?
How come?
I don't know. I've always liked that color.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess I should coach at Cheyenne Mountain.
No, your sister did.
I wouldn't do that. No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh no, that was Manitou.
That was Manitou.
Oh.
Yeah, they're green.
They're pretty close. Don't judge me. I was close. That was like 30 years ago. That's good for me remembering.
That is good for you remembering.
What is an interesting fact about you that most people don't know?
The obvious one, the people that just meet me, they don't know that I'm a twin until they get us wrong.
Oh, or see them at the mall. Yeah, and they're like, Miss Sherwood, why didn't you tell me hi? And you're like, that was probably my twin.
Yes, or our school resource officer came up to me on Thursday. He's like, I didn't know you were a twin. I met your twin at Loaf and Jug the other day.
Do you get that often?
We get that often. What's funny, and she's going to hate, if she hears this, she's going to hate I say this, but because I keep the book a lot at county's basketball games, and the officials will walk up to me and they'll look at me and they'll go, oh, you're the nice one, you smiled.
Carol doesn't smile.
I think she's just got a little more aggressive personality than I do.
So what's the best thing and the worst thing about being a twin?
Best thing is you've always had somebody there for you. I never had to do anything alone. The worst thing is we were compared all the time. It was never Cheryl's good at it. Was always Carol's better at volleyball, Cheryl's better at basketball, Carol's dating this guy, it was never like, we were never treated as individuals, especially being in such a small town.
Right. That would have been hard playing sports
Very hard. Very hard.
Wow. And then getting married and then and then kids, like all the things. Yep. Do you feel like you are still compared?
No, not as much because we kind of live totally different lives now. Yeah. I think if she was at county, we would be.
Carol, maybe you should come to county. No, I'm just kidding. Because she's doing volleyball back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But her kid goes to school, or I guess goes to college here.
CSUP, yeah.
Yeah. So you had her kid too.
I did.
In high school.
I did. He wasn't in any of my classes. I had my own kids, and I had Lane in a class. What's
your favorite thing you've ever taught?
I like teaching weightlifting, or I like teaching health.
And who was like the worst student you ever had? I know there's usually a list of them, but.
Well, there was one at Vineland Middle School, and I'm not going to say his name. I don't even remember his name. But I remember saying, that kid's going to end up arrested.
And he did.
He did. He was on trial for murder, like several years later.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's hard.
Very hard.
And it's so hard when you have those kids come through because it's not their fault for being the way they are, but it's just...
Exactly. That's why a lot of people I teach will say, oh, kids today. And I'll say, it's not kids today, it's parents today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've been a counselor, you've been a dean of students, you've been a teacher, a coach, all the things. What's next for you when you retire in a couple of years?
That's a good question. Something where when I walk out the door, I leave the job there. Something that just doesn't stay, something just fun and easy. I like working with people, but I want something that I don't take home with me.
And you do that now?
And definitely.
Because what's hard about being a counselor? And you probably can't share a whole lot because...
just day-to-day struggles for kids. I have one student, he's not even on my caseload, but he's one of Seth's friends, and he's in my office every day, and he got nominated to prom court, and when he realized he had to have an escort, his dad wasn't going to be in town, he doesn't like his stepmom, and he was just so flustered, and he kind of gets angry, and he starts cussing, and some other adults don't handle that well, and just stuff like that was hard, and I just had to call him in and tell him, have your coaches escort you. I'll escort you. Just don't give this up. So just things like that, and crying and just seeing what kids go through.
Do you cry with your students?
I have. I guess the best part is just letting them know they have somebody there and they are cared about.
What do you recommend for somebody that's, getting ready to either go to college for education or getting out to pursue their dream of being an educator? What advice do you give to them?
Just stay true to yourself. Be genuine. Like I say, no matter what position you're in, you're never going to make everybody happy. So you have to hold true to your values and your morals and do what you can live with. Because it's not about the curriculum you're teaching. It's about the people's lives you're touching. And I know it's cliche, and I always say it at my banquets, but when you work with kids every day, I seriously do spend more time with my volleyball girls than I do my own kids. They do become your kids.
Absolutely.
They do.
And they hold a special piece in your heart like forever. And it's fun to see them grow and see them flourish and then become like I have parents now and like all the things. It's just fun to watch their journey.
It is.
And knowing that you had a part, like you had a big part in my life with who I am today. But like, it's not just me. How many other lives did you touch in the last 30 years?
And there's the opposite side of that too. There's the ones who don't like you and the ones who think you're a terrible person. And that's why I think it's so important to tell the young people coming in, you just got to be you. You've got to be genuine. You can't have that kid walking out hating you and you feel like, oh, I should have done that different. You've always got to know I did what I believed, I felt what was best. And you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard. But then there are those success stories, like my little setter on the volleyball team. And we laugh at this because I always use her as an example. Her freshman year, could not stand that girl. Did not like her. She came in very entitled, she's going to be a senior this year. One of my favorite people. She's just grown, matured so much. Took the challenge I put out there for her, didn't quit like some kids would have, and just really grew not only as an athlete, but as a person.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
What are 3 words that best describe you?
Genuine, passionate. I gotta go with organized.
Super organized.
Super organized.
I see all 3 of those. I know. I always liked your handwriting.
Oh, thank you.
You always had pretty handwriting.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. What is your all-time favorite movie?
Friday Night Lights.
Why?
It's about a football team,
Yeah.
and it just talks a lot about high school kids and what they go through, and it talks about the accomplishments like as an athlete.
And you have, 3 beautiful kids, sweet husband. What's your success to marriage? Like, what advice do you give?
I think the same advice I give for incoming teachers. I think you have to be caring. I think you have to hold true to your values. You're not going to agree on everything. Communication. I think you have to be honest. And you have to realize you're not going to agree on everything, and you have to be, what's the word? Compromise. You have to be willing to compromise.
Absolutely. Can I tell you a story that I remember about you?
Sure.
So I used to work at a little restaurant called Sunflower Cafe, and after you guys would go to church, you would come and visit me, and I'd wait on y'all. And I remember, so now when I order scrambled eggs for my kids, I always say, make sure they're scrambled hard, because you would always make sure you wanted your kids scrambled eggs. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
Do you still do that? So even when I make eggs every weekend for my kids, and I'm always like, scramble them hard for sure. It's so funny how you do things like that, and it stays within somebody's head the rest of their life.
It does.
Oh, what's one of your favorite memories of us?
I don't know if it's a favorite memory of yours, but I remember, I think it was basketball, where you broke your ankle in a basketball game.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot for coaching me and making me break that. I'm going to blame that one on
And that
you.
wasn't my fault.
I'm just kidding.
But just the coaching is my favorite piece, because, teaching, counseling, you have relationships with them, but like I say, coaching, you spend so much time with that group of kids.
And you get a special relationship that you
do.
can't even explain until you're in that position.
Exactly. So I would definitely say the coaching and just the relationship, because not only you feel like family, but like you and I were family. So that made it more special too.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that.
Yeah.
I remember coaching too, and I see my kids now, and I'm like, I still love you as much as I do then, and
Exactly.
it's just a crazy bond that you have with them.
It is.
Especially the ones that you really like relate to.
Exactly.
It's so special. I remember breaking my leg. Crutches, middle school.
I remember.
It was so cool.
Yeah. I remember you on the floor.
Yeah. Did I cry? I don't even remember.
You did. You were.
I was hysterical.
You were.
You're like, somebody just come in. I'll take care of her later.
Can we not have a trainer in this building?
Not in the middle school
no,
days.
not in the middle school.
No.
But
No.
your mom was there, so that helped.
No, I don't think she was.
I think
she wasn't off work yet.
Oh, I thought she was there.
I remember I had to sit on the bench.
Oh, you're right.
Until she got there with like a throbbing ankle.
We gave you ice.
She gave me ice, she says.
Well, we had the rest of the game to finish.
Oh, Cheryl, what am I going to... It's so weird, too, calling you Cheryl. Like, I feel like I should always call you Mrs. Sherwood.
I know.
Do other kids, like, do they start calling you Cheryl, or do you always just get called Mrs. Sherwood?
Oh, no, it's funny. There's some, like Jody's kids, my best friend's kids, are in their 30s now, and they'll still call me Mrs. Sherwood. But the generation, there's some assessed friends that are in county right now, and they'll call me Cheryl.
But they grew up with you.
Right, as
Cheryl
mom.
and
Exactly.
Seth's mom. So
Exactly.
I guess that is
Exactly.
it's a little bit harder.
It is. It is.
You're so funny. So basketball's your favorite sport. Do you have a favorite team? Like basketball, football, like what's your favorite sport to watch?
I like watching basketball and volleyball.
Huh. You just watch it on the weekends?
I do, yeah.
What position did you play when you were a volleyball player?
It was so long ago, we really didn't specialize like they do now, but like outside.
You're an outside hitter?
Yeah.
I love volleyball. I think that's
volleyball.
my favorite sport.
I do like volleyball.
But basketball's yours.
Well, and I mean, Brooke loved volleyball, and Brooke was good at volleyball. My two boys, their passion was basketball, and I love watching them play basketball.
You would even get your nails done,
I
wouldn't
would.
you, for all the games with their number?
Their jerseys, yep.
I think you're going to have a hard time when Seth leaves.
Oh, I've already told kids at county I need to adopt a high school boy basketball player.
Okay. So do you have one in the lineup that needs adopted?
Maybe.
Because you've also had foreign exchange students,
I was just
right?
going to say that, yep.
How many families or kids have you had?
We've had 3. They've all been from Italy.
All from Italy.
Yep.
And how many years, like, total did you do that for?
We had one for, well, they stay a year.
Okay. They stay a year. So 3 years.
Yep.
And what made you want to do that?
Carol had one, and
Okay.
we just thought it was pretty cool. Brooke really wanted, because our first was a girl, so Brooke really wanted to have like another girl in the house. So and they all 3 had very different personalities, but they all 3 had things that we really liked about them.
Oh, and so you were just their mom for a year. Or do you stay in contact with them?
We do. Through,
is so fun.
through social media.
I love it.
Yeah,
Ah.
it is fun.
Why did you stop at 3 kids?
My age, I had my kids a little bit later in life.
How old were you when you had Brooke?
30.
Gosh, we have so much in common. It's crazy.
I know. I was 35 when I had Seth.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We almost have like the same everything.
Yeah.
Except I got out of education.
That's okay. You were probably smart.
I don't know about that. Look at you. Look at you just making that impact in my life. Now I have 3. And we even both have a Valentine baby.
We do.
Right? Is it
do.
Lane or?
It's Lane.
Lane is a Valentine baby.
And we both have 1 girl and 2 boys.
Yeah. Not in the same order, but that's all right.
No.
Any advice for me that you would give? I got a 7, 6, and 3-year-old, so somewhat similar-ish. I'm at that stage in my life. Like, what advice could you give to me with where I'm at?
When Paisley turns to be a teenager, find an island and send her there. I talked to other people whose girls were so easy, and I love Brooke. I love her with all my heart, but she's me. Like, her and I butted heads. Like, it was so hard raising a teenage girl because everything was a fight. Mm-hmm. So I guess I wish I had that to do over again, because I think I caused some of that. So I think I would back off a little bit and realize she's a teenager and I do want a better relationship.
How's your relationship now, though?
It's better.
Yeah. How many years did that go on?
When she was like 3rd grade, she just started. She had a hard personality.
Oh. Well, Paisley's already like that, and she's like 6, but she's not hard yet, but she's sassy.
Oh, bless
And
you.
I'm like, Matt he's already like those teenage years. It's going to be a show watching you two go at it, because
Yes.
we'll see who wins.
Yes.
Did you always win?
No,
No,
no.
you didn't.
I remember one of my principals at Vineland Middle School, Brooke was just mouthing off in front of him, and I just turned around and he goes, I don't know what I would have done. I think you did the right thing. You just turn around and let her go.
I remember my mom just slapped my face. So that was the only time I was like super naughty, was in middle school. Can you believe that? The time I knew you?
Oh, yeah.
You would have never known I was an angel for you, right?
You were.
But my mom, like, I had a mouth on me, and she would just slap me across the face. She goes, I didn't know what else to do. That's where it was coming from.
You don't know what to do, because when they have that tough of a personality, nothing you do phases them.
So how did you get through it? Because I'm sure there's other moms right now listening. Like, how do you get through that stage?
Like I would say, I think you kind of have to pick your battles. Some things are obviously more major than others, and I think I nitpicked on the little things. So I would say, let the little things go. Pick your battles.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to keep that advice.
Okay.
Any other advice you'd give me right now?
Cherish every moment, because you're going to be here one day and you are going to miss it. I know I'm going to miss it. I know. Like I say, I don't remember being in education without having a game to go to that my own kid was going to play in. So that's the hardest thing. Cherish every moment. Keep doing what you're doing. Just make memories.
You do a lot for your kids. What do you do for you? Like, what do you do, for yourself?
Not a lot lately, other than I walk and I started coaching volleyball again because I loved coaching, but I did take the time off when I had kids. Mm-hmm. My motto, and I've told this to a lot of people, if I'm going to have regrets, it was going to be my career. It was never going to be my children. So I think I did it right. I think I did it right taking that time off.
You don't have any regrets in life? Or do you?
There's things I'd do different.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I don't think I have any big regrets, no.
This is so good. I'm taking this all in for me right now. I am totally, I'm bringing it all in. What does the word influential mean to you?
I think it means somebody who makes a positive impact on you, somebody who you look at and you think, okay, I want to model that. I want to watch them. I want to do what they're doing. Even if you don't like the outcome, you like how they've handled something.
And that's probably why you are where you are today. Cherl, I love you and I adore you, and I don't think I've told you that enough, but that day in 7th grade getting my lock, and just from here on out, you have been a tremendous impact, a positive impact in my life, from being a PE teacher. Like, I seriously have followed in your footsteps. It's a little creepy, isn't it? It's a little creepy. Now I have 3 kids.
It's a compliment. It's a huge compliment. Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you for being a positive impact on my life. And I know so many children that, you've helped raise, you've helped coach, you've helped everything, been an extra ear for on the counseling side. Like, you truly make a difference in our community. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't actually realize the impact you know what I'm saying? Like, back then you don't realize how that one person can really make a huge impact on their lives. So thank you.
Thank you. But I do have to say, I honestly think you don't do anything for somebody else without getting something back in return. I mean, I do. I think I get thank yous a lot. Yesterday I got told, oh, you're one of the best counselors I've ever had. But you know what? That mom who was telling me that didn't realize what her son does for me. So I think, it works 2 ways.
Absolutely. You have such a big heart.
Thank you.
You do.
I don't know that my kids would always agree with you, but thank you.
You do. But you know what? You have to be a mom first.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'll always be your friend. I'm always here for you, but I'm always going to be mom first, and you're just not going to always like me, and that's okay.
And that's kind of the same as a coach or a teacher. Yeah,
right. Sometimes you have to you're set to do this, and if sometimes you have to be tough.
Exactly.
I like that about you. You have like that tough love.
Exactly.
Well, what else should people know about Cherl Sherwood?
Oh, good question. I think we've kind of touched on it all. You make me cry. I just want people to know, that I am a genuine person. I do care. I think I do come off hard sometimes, I think I come off maybe as like unfriendly at times, but I think once people get to know me, I think they realize that that is not who I am. And like I told Seth during basketball season when he came home complaining, they wouldn't harp on you. They wouldn't if they didn't see something in you, if they didn't care about you. So I think that's what I want everybody to know. When I'm hard on your kid, when I'm hard on you, it is because I care about you.
Absolutely. I love that. And I know that about you. And I mean, seriously, I remember the first time I met you, I'm like, oh, she's strict. She's not going to like me. And then we were related. I'm like, oh no, I'm related to, and then once you get that layer, because you are strict, but that there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So you just have great order in everything that you do, but you are one of the most genuine, sincere humans I know. You have a heart of gold.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Do you want to know the story I remember from Vineland Middle School?
Oh, you can tell. Okay, story. You can tell all the stories you want.
I think it was an 8th grader. You were 7th grade at the time, and I don't remember his name. He came up to me. I had come in. I had put kids in the squads to do exercises. We went out and we ran a couple, and we came in and got in our exercise squads, and he comes in and he goes, "Are you mad at this class?" I said, "No, why?" He goes, "Why did we do all that?" so, I mean, the PE teacher they had before just wasn't, didn't make them do any of that. I thought, no, this is just PE class.
Yeah. And that's just how you operate.
Exactly.
And then that's how I operate in my class.
Exactly.
It was good for him.
Exactly.
I actually, this morning when I was working, I'm like, oh, we're going to do the exercises I used to do with my class,
Yeah.
I used to make it, but it's good for him at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's funny. What else?
I don't know. Can't think of anything.
More stories? Nothing else we need to know about Cherl?
Nothing I can think of.
Besides Bon Jovi, so now when I see him, I don't even know what he looks like, so I'm going to...
Oh my gosh. You look at his younger pictures.
Oh, okay, so now he's not doing it for you.
Yeah, no, not as much. No. He
What's something that makes you giggle? Like the funniest thing in the world to you, where you couldn't stop laughing?
Let me think. Like I can just think sometimes of volleyball practice when like the most athletic girl just does something like so unathletic looking. Like just things like that, just funny little moments. Mm-hmm. And going back to like just little things that make a big difference. I remember when I was coaching in Lamar, which was one of my first coaching jobs. And again, tremendous athletes, tremendous teams, won the state tournament in basketball my second year there.
Wow.
I wasn't the head coach, but he was awesome. But the one thing I remember, I had to drive a van up to the state tournament, and I had this one girl in front with me talking the whole way when everybody else was in the back sleeping. And when we got back a couple days later, I remember her mom coming up to me and saying, "Thank you so much." And I said, "For what?" And she goes, "The conversation you and Stephanie had up to Denver. She was kind of feeling down on herself, some other coaches' comments, and you just really made her feel good about herself, gave her a renewed spirit." And to me, that was just a conversation we had. Like I was just being honest with her. But I think it's those things that matter. Mm-hmm. It's just the things you don't even realize you're doing. Just, again, being honest, being genuine.
Absolutely. Love it. Well, thank you for sharing all of your words of advice, all of your stories. It truly is an honor to have you here today.
It was an honor to be asked. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So excited. Well, that's a wrap. Make sure you like and share this podcast. Let's get Cherl's story out there. She's amazing. She truly is. Amazing human being. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.